What's up, Capricorn? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a general tarot reading for August, specifically the full moon on August 1st. This is going to be a full moon in Aquarius, so we're talking new ideas, we're talking making old stuff new, futuristic thinking. Uranus also rules the nervous system of an individual, and Uranus does rule Aquarius, so it could be a time of being nervous, especially with the full moon being in Aquarius. And especially if it happens to hit the 11th house of your natal chart in transit, even though it'll only be for a day, half a day, depends on your specific natal chart. Also, I was asked how people should watch the signs, like by their sun, moon, or rising. With that being said, you can watch it by your sun, moon, or rising, and that's a good place to start. But there's a lot more going on in a natal chart than just your sun, moon, or rising. And in many cases, your sun, moon, or rising may not even be the strongest thing in your chart. You want to look at conjunctions, as conjunctions are the most powerful thing in a natal chart. And you want to look at the orb of the conjunction. So anything within 4 orb, which would be 4 degrees, is going to be a very strong conjunction. You're really going to feel it. It goes up to 8 degrees most of the time when people are measuring natal charts for a conjunction. But those are going to be weaker conjunctions. You may notice them in your life, but they won't play as prominent of a role. If you have multiple conjunctions in a single sign, for example, that's what you call a stellium, 3 or more. If you have 3 or more conjunctions in a single sign, you have a stellium, which would be 3 planets sitting on top of each other. If that is in a single sign, like let's say you have it in Capricorn, you have a stellium in Capricorn, but you don't have a sun, moon, or rising in Capricorn, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of aspects on those 3 planets because there are 3 planets there, and there's a concentration of energy because they're sitting on each other. You're going to want to watch Capricorn. It's going to play a role in your life. Also, if you had Saturn conjunct your ascendant is how you present yourself to the world and how you see the world. So if you have the planet Saturn sitting on there, that's like having goggles that are Saturn on your eyes, and that's how you see the world. So everything how you see the world and project yourself to the world would be Saturnian, therefore Capricorn. So you would also want to watch Capricorn in that situation. Also, if that's the card. If Saturn was also conjunct had an aspect from that conjunction on your ascendant into anything in Capricorn, any other planet in Capricorn, it's going to make it even stronger. That's going to make it very obvious that you need to watch Capricorn. I will eventually do astrology videos because I do have a lot of astrology knowledge, but I want to build my channel first. I need a lot more subscribers and stuff to be able to dedicate that kind of time to it. I'm only dedicating a small amount of time now for the tarot readings to try to build the channel, in order to try to get to the point where I can do like some live streams and do like some free natal chart readings, teach people how to read natal charts, do some free tarot readings, those kind of things, just for people like a lottery type thing. And then eventually we'll be doing videos explaining all these types of things in the channel, because this channel is not just going to be tarot, it's also going to be astrology, because those things are interlinked. With that being said, we'll get to the reading. This card flew out. A win-win outcome is forecast. Yeah. It don't want to show. Win-win forecast. This camera. Sometimes it shows, sometimes it doesn't. Well, it's full moon in Libra. Well, of course, this is full moon in Aquarius, but a win-win is outcome. That's good. It's looking like no matter what the situation is, no matter what choice you make, it's going to be a win. Let's do the tarot spread. We're going to do a Thoth tarot spread, and we're going to clarify with the Thoth deck. So we'll get an idea of what these choices are. The outcome to what specifically. Full moons are generally a culmination of something, so it could definitely be an ending of something. That's with full moons. That's what you want to do. I'll eventually make a video about the mansions of the moon. That goes back. That's ancient magic, what you would call magic anyway. It's all based off of the mansions of the moon, and that's going to be each sign of the zodiac has a specific mansion, because the moon moves quite quickly around all the signs. It spends basically a day in a sign because the moon moves around the earth fairly quickly. So knowing where it's at specific times of day is important. Knowing what mansion it's in when you do something is important. I'll eventually make a video about the mansions of the moon. Basically all ancient magic is based off of that. Books like the Picatrix, grimoires are all based off of that type of stuff. A lot of grimoires, at least if they know what they're talking about. Anyway, let's get to this reading. Ooh. I mean, yeah, looking like a win-win either way. That cards come out a lot. It's definitely ending of a cycle for a lot of signs with that Ten of Swords. Come out a lot. With full moons, it makes a lot of sense, though, because those are generally endings, like I said. So either path is looking okay. I show the bottom card. It's a 10 as well. So, but it's looking like hard work or the end of hard work, something like that. But it's not as important as I would say that moon card is, the win-win. So let's kind of see what the situation is here, or what the question may be. Looks like it's a question about a wish or something that you really want. You have the wish card, which is Nine of Cups. You have the King of Wands, and you have the Three of Pentacles. It could be about a fire sign. It could be a fire sign that you're interested in, that you're wishing for. But I don't see anything about love here. This looks more about like work. It's like you're wishing about something in work. Maybe that you're passionate about, that you want to be able to show off, or maybe you want to be seen like this, like the King of Rods. You want to be seen maybe like a Leo or a Sagittarius, and you know, you want to be seen passionate and respected and fiery. I mean, you want to sit on the throne, and it could be that like you want to be able to show off what you're building or what you've worked on, and you want to be respected for it. You want people to have passion, this kind of passion about what you have passion about or what you created, and it's your wish. It's definitely some kind of wish. And you know, if it's a win-win, then it doesn't really matter, right? You're gonna win. So whatever that wish is, whatever path you take, or whatever outcome you receive, it's gonna be win-win. Don't mind my cat in the background. This is the current path you're on. This is Seven of Rods, Eight of Pentacles, which is still working, and the Ten of Swords. It almost looks like it's the end of hard work. Like it's the end of something you put a lot of work into to build. Like something you really, like you put a lot of time into it to build it. You wanted to show it off. Like whatever it is that you worked on or you built, or maybe even just yourself, your own prestige, your own standing at work. It screams work, but it could just be in your public eye, whatever that is for you. It could be on social media, anything like that. But it looks like you're done with all of this hard work, or you're done with whatever the project is, and now you're getting ready for whatever the backlash may be. Like maybe you're worried that it won't be received well, or you're worried that you won't get the credit that you deserve. But I mean, so it says win-win outcome on that moon card, so I don't think you need to worry. I think that, and maybe that it looks like maybe you had to fight to build whatever this is. Something that you're trying to build, a project of some sort. Could be online, like content creation. Could be just at work itself. Could be literally working with your hands, building something. Don't really see a ton of cards that would suggest building something directly. I mean, you could suggest this would be in the current situation. So it's like whatever you build that you're wanting to show off, maybe you're worried that it won't be received well, but it's a win-win either way. And that's the path that you're on, is basically completing what you're working on and getting ready for whatever the fallout might be. This is the other path. You got the Knight of Cups, the Five of Pentacles with the Ace of Pentacles. So it looks like you may even be worried about, because Knight of Cups is an emotional card, and this is a card that's basically saying I'm worried about money. But you may be worried about whatever this thing is creating actually being received well, and then you being able to make a living out of it. Could be like that like I said, you could be starting a YouTube channel or something like that, content creation, Twitch, live streaming, anything like that. But it looks like it's a win-win. It doesn't even matter. Like you may be worried about both. Kind of suggest that like you're worried about how what it is you're creating is going to be received. Capricorns are very meticulous, so my guess is you're gonna do all your due diligence and figure out what's the best way to do what you want to do, and you're probably going to succeed. Saturn energy in and of itself, because it has a ring around it, right? Saturn has a ring. It represents kind of boundaries or being like restricted in some way. But Saturn is also the greatest significator of wealth in a chart, right? It'll make it tough for you, and that's Capricorns are going to have to work hard to accomplish what they want. But if you Rue, you need to stop. If you succeed, or if you push through and keep working hard, you're going to have great success, like greater success than anyone else. And that's just the way it works. I mean, that's why Capricorn's a great significant, because he's going to put you through the toughest tests. And if he puts you through the toughest test, you're going to get the greatest rewards because you have to push harder. And it looks like it may be something like that. And advice, I mean, you have a victory card right here. So you have the Chariot, Temperance, and the Page of Swords. So it could be very much that it's divinely guided. So like whatever you're creating, you know, you're gonna win. You could be building a car. Maybe it's a race car. You know, maybe you're building a race car, and you're worried about, you know, whether you're gonna win and get paid. And if you are, you're gonna win. Seems like very specific and probably very unlikely, but it could be something like that. It could be like that. This victory is guided, or you've created everything that you have everything that you need, and therefore you created it. You used everything at your disposal to create, you know, this movement forward. And it's saying be patient, be balanced, and move forward fearlessly, and speak your truth. And if you do that, it's win-win. The advice seems pretty straightforward. I would say that's exactly what it means. More likely than the race car thing. But it could be. It could be specific for somebody. Could be some kind of competition. Wouldn't surprise me. Could be you're worried about a competition, like being prepared for it. Don't see a lot of like athletic cards here. I would want to see a lot more fire cards for something like that. I mean, there's the King of Wands in the middle. This is the outcome. So it's, you know, 9 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, 4 of Swords. So you're good either way. I mean, like, it's looking like all your hard work's going to pay off. You're finally going to get the rest. You're going to get what you wanted. This is you looking out with everything you've done behind you that's already been fruitful and showing that, you know, you've done the work. This is you looking out in front of you at whatever lies ahead. But what lies behind you is success. These rods are already planted in the ground. They're already growing. And this fertile ground behind you just shows that everything that you've done has already been successful. So you're going to get the rest. It's like a lot of rest and like sitting here and waiting kind of thing. And, you know, this is the outcome, right? So this is what's going to be. You're going to have everything you need, everything you want, and more. And that's what the 9 of Pentacles is. So it looks all good. It looks like there's a lot of worry about both paths. Whatever path you choose, it's win-win either way. But, I mean, we as people tend to worry needlessly anyway. It's very often that we do a lot more worrying than we needed to, and we look back on it, we're like, man, I worried about that, and it was just this thing, and it worked out just like this. And most of the time, things do work out. I would suggest most of us, we worry about stuff and worry and just put all that energy out there and stress our bodies, and we put that negative energy out there, and you don't want to put any energy out there that you really don't want to get back, right? So if you worry, I'd say a lot of times it ends up being for nothing. But the more you're just basically putting yourself through a lot of headache and sadness and detriment for nothing. Because don't get me wrong, it can be bad sometimes, right? But most of the time we put a lot more worry in than is necessary. I would say that in my own life for sure. I would worry, and it's like, oh, the situation worked out just fine, just like this, and it wasn't even this big major deal that I made it in my mind. So I think maybe whatever this situation is, whatever this thing you're trying to create and you're trying to show off or trying to present to the world, I think it's going to be all good. I wanted to stop right there. I'm kind of curious what this is. Man, it's all kind of rest. So you got the Hermit with the 4 of Swords and the 8 of Cups. So yeah, you're at the end of the cycle, right? Because I put down the 10 of Swords on the path that you're on. It's looking like you're going to kind of retreat into yourself. In this card, it's called a truce, which is similar to resting, like truce, no more fighting. And then this is indolence, which is also sitting still. In this deck, it's not walking away from something. It's being kind of stuck. That's what indolence means. So I think it's time to sit still. I think it's time to just let things play out. Like, you've put in the work, you've done what you needed to do, you've worked your butt off, and you're going to get what's coming, which is, you know, looks like I said, win-win. So whatever it is that you do, it's going to be a win, and it's going to pay off. I think I think it's time to rest. I think the cycle has ended. I mean, with full moon, it makes sense. So whatever it may be that you've been through a hard period with money, because it looks like money. You may be having to work really hard to make ends meet. I mean, with inflation and everything else, you know, I can relate. So I think that's coming to an end. I think it's coming to an end with this full moon. Let's see what this other path is. What's this other path here? Right there. Looks like it's got a wish or some kind of healing. I mean, you got the star here on that 5 of Pentacles. So, you know, you got the Prince of Rods, Prince of Swords. So that's you know, intellectual energy and passionate energy with a wish. So I think you're wishing for financial success here, and not only financial success, healing in the financial situation, right? Because that's what the star is. It's a wish, and it's also healing. It's guidance. And with the Prince of Swords, I mean, you're going to be thinking about it or have new ideas about it, or maybe you have, you know, new passions about it. those things together, moving forward passionately and intellectually to try to make more money. And I think you're worrying yourself a lot about it, but I think it's going to work itself out no matter what. I think because it says win-win. So like if you're worried about money, you're worried about your work, I think you're good. It's basically saying you don't have to try as hard as you are. You don't have to think about it as much as you are. It's time for a rest period. It's time that you get the rewards that you worked so hard for. And Capricorns are very hard-working signs. And because they're ruled by Saturn, they have to work hard. It's just the way it is, especially if Saturn is really strong. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your sign is. If Saturn is very powerful in your chart, you're going to have to work hard for what you want. But don't get me wrong. If you're willing to go through the gauntlet of Saturn, that's where the biggest rewards are, no matter what you say, no matter what anybody says. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jupiter can be a great significator of wealth, so can Venus, right? Even Pluto can be in the right situation. But when it comes right down to it, Saturn is going to teach you the most. That's why squares are really important in charts and conjunctions, because that's going to show you where you need to do the work. And like I said, I mentioned Mike Tyson in another video. He has a ton of squares. Anybody you see, like somebody like Ice Cube, I looked at his too. Lots of squares. People with tons of squares always accomplish great things if they're not buried by the energy, because it's through those challenges that we learn. We learn about ourselves. We learn about the world. The more challenges you receive, the better. If you have someone with a bunch of trines, like, oh, look how good my chart is, they may not accomplish anything in life because everything's so smooth sailing. Same thing with sextiles, right? Sextiles is a little different. A trine is like something you're good at, you know you're good at, or something that you will be good at, and you'll know you'll be good at it. A sextile is something you're good at, but you have to discover, right? But once you learn that you are good at it, you'll be very good at it. That's why reading your natal chart is important. It gives you a lot of astrology isn't like this is what the energies are and what they will be. Many times you'll look at it and be like, oh, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah, and it will. But once you're conscious of the energy and you learn about it, and that's the whole reason I learned astrology, was to learn about the energies in my life and what was set there for me natally, what the map was, so that I can learn about the energies and to where they no longer had the power that they once had. They were no longer unconscious, they were conscious. And then I can consciously use the energy in the way that I wanted. Even the energies that are tough, or like what you would consider malefic energies, you can even use those to your benefit in certain situations if you just know how to use them, if you just are aware of them. It's not that astrology is the be-all, end-all. No, it's just a step. It's a stepping stone. It's gnosis. It's knowledge that you have to have in order to understand yourself better. Know thyself, right? As above, so below. And then with that energy, you can alchemize it. You can use all those types of energies and understand them to your benefit. And I'm just going to do this on the outcome here. And you have the 3 of rods on the 3 of rods. So in this deck, it's virtue. But, I mean, it's like, look what I've done. But in this deck, it's being virtuous. And the Emperor's here with the moon. It could be an individual, maybe like a boss or something, that recognizes your work and is like, you know what, you've earned a rest, or maybe you've earned a vacation, or you get a promotion or something, you're able to go do something, or you get a raise in pay, anything like that. And you can't quite see it yet with the moon here. But it's also just staying, like, stay true, stay virtuous, because, that's why I said that's what that card is virtue. The 3 of rods is called virtue. And with the Emperor, it's a lot of fiery energy. And with the Emperor there, and it could be that you need to be this way. Stay in control of everything, right? Keep tabs on it. Be strong. Be a leader. And maybe you don't even realize that in yourself. Maybe you have that and you just don't realize it in yourself. And maybe with all this worry here about money, you don't realize that what you're capable of. But you're going to. No doubt about it. Once you rest a little bit and you get your respite and you get what you wanted, and you will get what you wanted because it's win-win. Right now maybe you can't see that you're this, or that you can be this. But I think with the outcome you're going to. Or it could be this kind of individual coming into your life, like a new career. It's like a new boss, somebody that recognizes what you did and is like, you come work for me, you're gonna make a whole lot more money. And it definitely could be the case, or a big promotion, right? And it could be a promotion that makes you the boss. It could be a promotion. This could be the guy that promotes you, or this, and it could be both. You could be promoted by this individual, and then it turns you into that individual. But you might not just be able to see it yet. But your hard work is being noticed, I believe. Like, you can't really see it with the moon. Come on, moon card. Come on, there we go. The moon. See, that's the moon in the Thoth deck. And it's because you are hardworking and virtuous. So yeah, I think your work's going to pay off, Capricorn. I think it's all good. Like I said, win-win. Win-win is outcome is forecast. So no matter what your worries are or what the situation is, you're winning. Like win-win, and you got this in advice. Just know that you're winning. You'd be surprised how well it will do for you just knowing that the win is coming. No matter what is presented to you, especially with the Capricorn with Saturn type energy, it's going to present itself to you like, oh, you know, it's going to test you. It's going to be like, you know, do you really believe you're going to win? So just believe it and know it, and you'd be surprised how you can alter reality. You can alter the wave, you know, the law of attraction. And you need to train your unconscious, because that's where the wave is. It's unconscious. Alpha waves, beta, delta waves, theta waves. When you're sleeping, the levels of sleep. That's where you do the programming, and you need to consciously think a certain way to help program your unconscious. But at the same time, your unconscious will let you know what things you need to heal within your conscious life in order to be able to get to the point where you can program your unconscious. They work together. It's crazy. Like, I don't know if I've explained it before in a Capricorn video, but people talk about the law of attraction. Oh, just think positive, everything is right. That's not how it works. The vessel has to be correct, right? In quantum physics, you have the wave function. When it's by itself, when reality is just observed by like a computer, it's this nice, perfect little wave. But the moment there's a conscious observer, and by conscious I mean someone with consciousness, like a human, could even be an animal, they look at it, it collapses and becomes particles. So that's the argument of whether reality is a wave or particle. So when you look at something, it kind of disperses it, right, out into the thing, and it disturbs the wave function. But when everything is just flowing, like when they talk about the law of attraction, you got to flow with it, accept it, and let go. That's the wave function. You can reach it in meditation, right? You can reach it in sleep if you can get to that point. Now, sleep, you'll definitely reach it. In meditation, it's a little bit more difficult, but you can do it. But the programming happens in the wave. So you have to think consciously in a certain way, get you to get the vessel right, and get the unconscious working in the right way. And once it does, and you're dreaming about the things that you want and the success that you want, that's when you know you're programming it, baby, and you're winning. So think the right way, but you also have to pay attention to the unconscious and make sure it's ready for that conscious programming. So you have to work through whatever your stresses are and your worries and those kind of things in life. And the world tries to stop us from doing this because it feels like that's what this is, like a giant classroom. We have to learn through adversity. Most of us, it's the best way we learn is through adversity. Many people, if everything was just given a smooth path for them, they're just not going to accomplish anything because it's just so smooth. It's like, I'm so comfortable, I don't need to do anything. Like I said with the trines. So it's important that we use the struggle to our advantage to learn. But anyway, Capricorn. That's all I have. I hope this resonated to you in some way. Like I said, I'm trying to build the channel. A like, subscribe, and comment would be great. If I can get the channel built up, I'm trying to get to the first 1,000 subscribers. I'm way off of it right now. Then I'll start probably doing some live streams and things like that, and like reading free natal charts and stuff to try to teach people. I'm also going to post videos, astrology videos with all the information that I have, discussing like patterns, discussing stelliums, things like this, and the aspects and how important the aspects are in astrology. It's so much more about the aspects than what like the planets are located. People are like, oh, this planet's in this house, it means this. Okay, the planet in the house will mean something, but if that planet has no aspects on it at all, it's not going to play much of a role. It's all about the aspects because you want concentrations of energies. Anyway, I'll explain all that later. Please consider liking and subscribing. I'm trying to build a channel. I'm glad that you're here watching this video, Capricorn, and I hope to see you here again.